Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So a bill that right now is in Congress that has bipartisan support and enough bipartisan support to pass would raise benefits for 800,000 beneficiaries by right around $500 per month. So we'll be covering that. Plus, former President Donald Trump just cleared up some recent comments that he made about Social Security, where some people were actually attacking him, saying that he wanted to cut benefits. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $10,000 in free stocks or $10,000 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Moomoo. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then deposit at least $100. At that point, Moomoo will be sending you at least 5 free stocks worth, once again, all the way up to $10,000. And if you'd rather just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive those free stocks is just sell them for what they're worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into our lead story of today's video, and of course recently, it was just a few days ago where Trump was on CNBC on Squawk Box doing an interview where they were discussing Social Security, what needs to be done with the program, and some of the comments that Trump made, I guess were kind of taken out of context to make it seem like he was advocating for cuts to Social Security, when in fact that wasn't exactly what he was meaning to do, because over the past few months he's actually been attacking his fellow Republicans for wanting to cut benefits or negotiate over different bills to cut Social Security benefits in return. So yesterday in an interview with Breitbart, Trump tried to clean up the comments to sort of try to clarify what he really meant. So according to Politico, former President Donald Trump is cleaning up comments he made last week in which he seemingly entertained the idea of cutting Social Security. In an interview with Breitbart News, published on Thursday, Trump insisted he would not touch the social insurance program, nor would he pursue cuts to Medicare. Trump said, quote, "I will never do anything that will jeopardize or hurt Social Security or Medicare. We'll have to do it elsewhere, but we're not going to do anything to hurt them." Trump has long sought to distance himself from other Republicans by pledging fidelity to entitlement programs, convinced that they present a huge political tripwire for his party. He criticized then Representative Paul Ryan during the Barack Obama era for pushing austerity budgets, and this year he urged Republicans not to demand entitlement reforms in exchange for lifting the nation's debt ceiling. So Trump is sort of on the opposite side of what most Republicans are saying, where a lot of Republicans are saying that changes need to be made to the program, whether that be raising the full retirement age or cutting benefits for people who are receiving the most amount in Social Security. That way we can keep the program solvent past the year of 2032. So we have Trump basically saying we should not do anything, we should not touch the program, which of course if we don't do anything about the program, we are going to be facing cuts come 2033 of 20 to 25% across the board. And then we also have Joe Biden saying that we should not be cutting benefits either, but we need to have both sides of the aisle come together to come up with some sort of solution. So for instance, this was Biden back in 2007, where he was actually like, yes, we need something needs to absolutely happen. And Biden actually admitted to, advocating back in the day to raise the full retirement age. Let's go ahead and watch this clip.
Right now, you pay tax for Social Security on your first $97,500 worth of income. Why not tax the entire income of every American? And if you do that, you'll guarantee the solvency of Social Security farther than the eye can see.
The answer is yes. I'm probably the only one up here who's going to say that. But the truth of the matter is, you stated it. You're either going to cut benefits or you're going to go ahead and raise taxes above the first $97,000. And by the way, I was in that room with Pat Moynihan. It was Joe Biden, Pat Moynihan, Bob Dole. It was also George Mitchell when we made that deal. I'll never forget Bob Dole turning to Pat Moynihan and saying we all got to jump in this boat at the same time. So the bottom line here is you can't do it by growing the economy alone. So I would raise the cap.
Would you also, considering now life expectancy is 78, consider gradually raising the retirement age?
Now, we did that once. I supported that. That's what got it solvent to 2041. By simply going and raising the cap, you can solve the problem.
So clearly something needs to be done about Social Security just to keep the program solvent for a longer period of time. You either have to raise taxes to have more money come into the trust fund, you either have to raise the full retirement age to ensure that less benefits are going out, you have to cut benefits for the people who are receiving the most amount. You have to do something. Otherwise, there is going to be a cut across the board for everyone by 20 to 25%. That is absolutely something that does not need to happen. Now, we actually recently had a conservative come out in Ben Shapiro. He's also on YouTube. And he said that we definitely need to be raising the full retirement age and sort of coming out and saying that retirement is more or less, I guess, like a stupid idea. And he was making claims that I guess whenever people do retire, that the idea of just sitting out on a beach, your life is not going to last that long. That working is a good thing to do to stay sharp. And part of that I agree with, and part of that I disagree with. So according to USA Today, noted podcaster and conservative thought leader Ben Shapiro said on his show Tuesday, quote, "It's insane that we haven't raised the retirement age in the United States." He continued, "No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem. Everybody that I know who is elderly, who has retired, is dead within 5 years." So let me know your thoughts in comments below. In my opinion, just given the fact that our life expectancy in the United States has not risen, we really should not be raising, the full retirement age just given with that fact. However, I also think that it's important that once you do, I guess, quote unquote, retire and start receiving Social Security benefits, that it is also incredibly important after that to keep yourself busy. I mean, whether that be working a job, or perhaps it opens up an opportunity to open up a business, something that you really love doing, or, just volunteering work, doing whatever to keep yourself sharp. Because I guess the idea of, it sounds great on the surface to retire and I guess lay out on the beach and drink margaritas every single day, but that's probably going to get old anyways after a month, and of course your health is going to deteriorate drinking every day. But obviously I don't think they should be raising the full retirement age unless our life expectancy continues to increase. But at the same time, I do think it's important to keep yourself busy, keep yourself sharp, even after you quote unquote retire from whatever job you're currently working. Now, in some other news, and of course our main story of today's video, there right now is a bill in Congress that has a large amount of bipartisan support. I mean, if this bill was going to be voted on today in both the House and the Senate, it would definitely pass. And if the bill did pass, that would create a great opportunity where there would be a $500 increase, or right around a $500 increase for right around 800,000 beneficiaries. So right now we have a bill by Spanberger and Graves. They are the leaders of this bipartisan bill, and it would eliminate both the WEP and GPO, that's the windfall elimination provision, as well as the government pension offset. So U.S. Representatives Abigail Spanberger and Gary Graves today urged the U.S. House Ways and Means Committee to take the next step to eliminate the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset by holding a markup on their bipartisan Social Security Fairness Act. The bipartisan Social Security Fairness Act, which now has 308 co-sponsors, actually 310, would eliminate both the WEP and the GPO, two provisions of the Social Security Act that unfairly reduce or eliminate Social Security benefits for millions of Americans who have devoted much of their careers to public service, including federal employees, police officers, firefighters, and educators. The WEP impacts approximately 2 million Social Security beneficiaries, and the GPO impacts nearly 800,000 retirees. So basically how this works is if you work like, I guess, a quote-unquote normal job, let's say like at a retail store, if you worked at like Target for 5 years or something like that, and you paid into the Social Security system, but then you switched over your career to be like a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter, and because of that, you worked most of your career in that, and because of that, you received a pension. Just because of the fact that you're also receiving a pension, what your Social Security benefit normally would have been under normal circumstances ends up getting lower just because of the fact that you're also receiving the pension. So basically this bill would make it so that your Social Security benefit would not be reduced just because you're also receiving a pension as well. So just under a hypothetical scenario here, we can look at this chart up on the screen, and we can see that worker 2 under this scenario, if worker 2 had 20 years of covered employment and 15 years of non-covered employment, they normally would have been receiving $1,204 in Social Security benefits, but because they are also going to be receiving a pension, in this case, they're actually only going to be receiving $692 in monthly benefits for Social Security. So if this bill were to pass, the worker 2 in this scenario would be getting a increase on a monthly basis of $500. And then of course that would work itself out to a $6,000 increase over the course of a year. Now we can see up on the screen here, we can look at the bill and the amount of co-sponsors that this bill has. Up on the screen right now is the bill in the House, and right now it has 310 co-sponsors. For any bill to pass, it only needs to have 218 votes. So this has more than enough co-sponsors, people willing to support this bill for it to easily pass in the House. Then we can switch it over to the Senate. Right now, they do have 53 co-sponsors. For any bill to pass in the Senate, it would need at least 60 votes. But you can see right now, 53 co-sponsors is quite a bit. I'm sure they can get at least an additional 7 people to approve of this bill, which it would pass. And once again, that would create an increase for right around 800,000 beneficiaries by right around $500 per month. But let me know what your thoughts and comments are below on this bill. Do you believe that it should pass? Are you in support of it? Do you or anyone that you know, would you benefit from it? Let me know your thoughts and comments below, but that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.